Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, respected Professor Raghuraj Singh Sir, TechCube Coordinator, um, and all respected audience. Here I have been instructed by Professor Raghuraj Singh, who is the TechCube Coordinator and also the coordinator of this program, that I have to cover the design and implementation concept of the system, and we have to also discuss some basic concepts of the MATLAB here, and I have been given only 15 minutes in order to cover these three topics. So I will try to cover all these three topics within the 15 minutes, and you are requested to try to be connected with me. Here, in order to design any system or in order to design any algorithm, first of all, we have to read the problem. What is the problem? What is the field of the application? And for that particular problem or that particular field of the application, we have to develop the algorithm. And if we have developed any algorithm, then we have to write the code for that one, and finally that code is either downloaded on a given target processor, or according to that code or according to that algorithm, we can design here the system. So we have the two aspects, either here the processor is given, and for according to that processor we have to develop the algorithm, and or we have the option to design the algorithm, and then that design algorithm will be downloaded to a given suitable processor here. Now if we see, then we'll find, in order to design a system, first of all we have to define the problem, and after the definition we have to describe the methodology here, the effective methodology, so that here the performance of the system can be enhanced using the effectiveness, and effectiveness itself here the function of the human skills, software and hardware. And if the requirement is given, the requirements are always here the ideal, and that ideal requirement is converted into the practical by using some practical approaches, and that is named as a specification. And if we have converted those requirements in the form of the specification, then on the basis of the specification we have to determine whether we are interested for the static or the dynamic system. And if we have decided or we have taken the decision for the particular type of the system, then again we have to decide whether we are interested for the analog or the digital system. Naturally we are interested in order to design the dynamic and the digital system here, that will be represented by a difference equation for the one dimensional, and for the two dimensional signals or the processing we use the two dimensional difference equation here, like this one. And then we have to apply the different types of that here the analysis like that Fourier transformation, including the Laplace and Z transformation. And for the discrete purposes, DTFT and then DFT, that is the again sampled version of the DFT, and if we enhance that DFT by using the some properties of the here the system function e to power j omega, then that will be converted into the FFT, because the complexity is here down in this case, and we will get the faster but these are not suitable for the non-stationary signal, and for the non-stationary signal we use the SDFT or the DWT, discrete wavelet transformation, for the purpose of the analysis. And after the analysis we have to check the performance of the system on the basis of the energy, area, finite word length effect, and the speed or the delay. And then we have to decide whether we are interested for the moving average system or the autoregressive. Autoregressive means there is a feedback that depends upon the previous previous outputs also, but moving average means there is no feedback, and that is also known as the finite impulse response system, because if this type of the system is excited by some input, then after finite duration we will get the response, but in this case we will get the response whatever is the response, again that is given as the input, that's why it is the infinite impulse response system. And if we have decided any system or we have selected the design method, then we have to select what is the approximation method, that is the optimization method that is used in order to design the system. And after selecting the approximation method, next is the here the algorithm which has been selected here. For that one we have to quantize the coefficients as well as the signals here, that is the input has to be quantized, then product, sum, and finally the output, because we are interested here to download the our concept on a given processor. So according to the word length of that processor we have to quantize the algorithm here, and after quantization there will be the quantization error, and again the performance of the system will be here the analyzed, And for the purpose of the analysis of the system, either we can use the graphical representation using the block diagram, signal flow graph, data flow graph, or the dependence graph, or we can use the descriptive, prescriptive, or the applicative languages. And after these steps, that is after understanding the problem and designing the algorithm, then converting it to the implementable form, and then designing the efficient algorithm, it will be downloaded on a given target with the help of the ID, that is the integrated development environment. For example, if we are interested to download any concept of the DSP on a given digital signal processor starter kit, for example the CCS Studio, then this is these are the different blocks of here the ID, that is the compiler, assembler, linker, loader, etc. With the help of this, we can download our concept or the design on a given target or a given processor here, and that processor here the resources of that processor can be utilized for the purpose of the processing of the signal as per our requirement or the field of the application. And now if we see whatever is the algorithm which has been designed here, if we are interested to enhance the performance of that algorithm, then we have to reduce the critical path length using the pipelining, parallel processing, retiming, folding and unfolding techniques here. And if we use this type of the technique, these techniques here, then naturally we will get here the enhanced methodology or the enhanced technology. And now see here again that whatever was the problem for that problem we have designed the algorithm, and then we have converted that algorithm into the VLSI implementable form. Then efficient implementation of that algorithm has been developed here using the different types of the algorithm, and then using the Code Composer Studio or any other ID, it has been downloaded to the digital signal processor, and digital signal processor is connected to the other peripherals in order to interact with the real world. So after downloading the concept on a given processor here, whatever is the signal that is given as the input to this here the kit, and we will see what is the response, whether that is working as per our requirement or not, and hence we can again analyze here the performance of the system which have been designed, or a processor on which we have downloaded our concept or the algorithm here. Now if we after this one we come to the this discussion that has already been discussed here, that is the whatever is the algorithm, the performance will be analyzed, and then according to the different block here the graphical representation or the language, we have to interact with the computer here. Now we are coming to the next point of this one, that is MATLAB. Means MATLAB is very interactive computational language that can be used in order to develop the algorithm or to design the system here. In the MATLAB, C kernel is the basic kernel here, and either we can use the .m file or we can use the .mdl file. If we are using the Simulink, then we can use the .mdl file, and there are here the different types of the toolboxes also. That is for a particular purpose signal processing, there is signal processing toolbox, and for the control system there is a control system toolbox. So we can use any one toolbox, and whenever we here the click on the MATLAB, then this is the here the this will be the feature dialog box that will be opened after clicking on the MATLAB here, and there is a workspace where we can write our command or the program here. The elementary operators of the here with this MATLAB are the for the purpose of the assignment we can use here this sign that is equal to here, x is equal to 1, and this is the value. This one addition is nothing but that is a very simple one, that is the plus sign is used for the purpose of the addition. Similarly for the subtraction, multiplication is asterisk sign is used for the division, this one, and for the power, that is 5 to the power 3 is this one. So these are the very simple here the notations which will be used in order to describe the command of the MATLAB that can be used for the purpose of the arithmetical operation, and that can be also very helpful during the time of the writing our program here. And similarly, if we are using any vector here, then for the purpose of the summation we can write here the command like this is a vector given 1 2 3 4, the sum x, that is the all elements will be summed. Similarly here the all product of the all elements will be received here, and this is a column matrix. If the element is terminated with the semicolon, then we will get here the next column. And this is the these are the two matrices x and y, and we will get here the multiplication of the x and y here. That is x is multiplied by 1, but this is the row matrix and this one is the column matrix. And similarly for the cross product we have to use the cross command here, and for the vectors, if we are interested for the multiplication, division or the power, then we have to use here the same asterisk but having the dot asterisk, because this is the element wise operation. These are the elements wise operation, that's why we'll use the dot division, dot power notation here. Now if we again come to the new some more representation of the functions, like if we are interested in order to find the mean, then we can use this one, and for the maximum value of this one, and in order to maximum of any value, and then what is the location and position of that one, for the sum of any vector, sorting of the vector, median, standard deviation, and determinant of the square matrix. Here it is the inverse of the square matrix and dot product, and this is for the cross product. Very simple commands that will be used in the MATLAB. We are just trying to cover the basic concept of the MATLAB that are used in writing the program here. Similarly, if we are interested in order to generate the random number, then we can use here the random command here. The random command 1 cross n will generate 1 cross here the random number between the 0 and 1. Random n means the n cross n matrix will be generated, m cross n, and these are the different types of the commands which are used in order to generate the random number, and these random numbers are used in order to analyze the effect of the noise, or in order to model the noise during the time of the processing of any signal. And during the time of the quantization, if we are interested to get here the value, that is the quantization value here, then we can use the different types of the function, like the floor value, seal value. Floor, that is the towards negative, and seal, that is towards the positive, that higher value, rounding, fixing, rational value, remainder, GCD, LCM, factor. Very simple command. Just like their name, we can use these commands here, and these are the order of precedence, that is the precedence that will be used here right during the time of the writing of the program. Here the first parenthesis, exponentiation, logical not, and then multiplication, division, addition and subtraction, relational operation, logical and logical OR. These are the different types of the functions, and having their different precedence of the order that will be used during the time of the writing of the program here. Now if we are interested in order to describe the two-dimensional plots, here we have to just use a very simple command, that is the plot x comma y. X is a vector, this one say, y is this one. We are using just here the plot x comma y. We have defined the x and the y. Right, plot x comma y, we will get here the graph here, like this one, having the blue in color. But if we are interested for a particular color and style, then we have to define the line specifier, that is that here we have defined the x and y. Then we have to describe here the plot x, that is x values, comma y values, with the line specifier, that is the dash line here, and red in color, and asterisk will be a marker here that will be used for this purpose. Now some more commands are used for the different types of the representation of the graphs here. For example, if we are interested to plot a graph having the here the width a gap of the 0.3, then this will be the range of this is the -3 to 4, having a gap of the 0.3. And if this and we are using here the function that is that had to be plotted here, then we use the plot x comma y. This is the function which will be plotted here. And if we are interested to get here the smooth curve, then this gap should be minimized here. Now suppose we are interested in order to describe the any plot of the function, then if this is a function here and we are interested to plot it between the range -3 to 3, then we use the plot f plot, then name of the function, and here the limit -3 to 3. And at the same time we can draw here the 4 graphs having the same plot. So here we will get one graph x come between the x and y, second u and v, third t and h. This will be blue in line, red in line, and this is green in line. We can get here that different graphs having the same plot. Now we will come to the next graphical representation, that is here we are interested to get the bar, then we have to use only the bar function. And similarly for the pi function, we will write here the pi of the grade, and this is, suppose this is the grade of the students in any class having the 11 number A, B, C and D, E, like that, and then the graph will be plotted according to this one, that is the pi graph will be plotted here, and we can write here the class grades. Now suppose we are interested for other type of the graphs and function, like the, if we are interested for the polar plot, then plot must be drawn here between the theta and the radius. And for the filling of any polar plot here, we have to use the fill. That is the first we will define the here the function itself, then we will write here the fill of this one. Then whatever is the polar plot, that will be filled by a particular color, and here we have selected a particular color R, that is the red. So this is the graph for that one here. And similar, this is very simple. We are getting here the graph by using only one command here. Similarly, we can get here the mesh plot by using the mesh command here. That is, we will describe the z in terms of the x and y. Then we will use the mesh x, y, z, and we will describe the x level, y level, z level here. And here the similarly, if we are interested to get here the plot for the sinc function, that is the sine r by r, and here the gridding of the mesh is done, then we will get here this type of the function. That is the first we have defined the z and this mesh of this one here. Now, if we are interested for other types of the function, like the contour function and surface plot function here, then for the purpose of the here this one, that is surface plot, we have to use the surf function. This is the surface plot. And for the curtain plot here, we have to describe the z axis here, so we will write here the mesh z. Similarly, if we are interested to get the contour plot here along with the surface plot, then we have to use the surf C. That is the surface plot having the contour of that plot, and this is the surface plot, and these are the contours we are described here. Similarly, if we are interested for the sphere plot here, then we have to describe the x, y, z angles, and then we will use the sphere command here, and we will get this type of the return here when we are using the sphere command. Now, if we have drawn any sphere command or any other type of the graph, and we are interested to get here the top view, side view, or the any view here, the right side or left side view, then we have to enter here the azimuthal angle and the elevation angle. And first we will draw the surface plot, and we will view that azimuth along with the azimuthal and the elevation angle, and we will get here the side here the plot of that particular function. Now again we will see another functions here, and this is the about the polynomials. For the polynomials, we have to describe the polynomial, and in this polynomial we have described only the coefficients, and after describing the coefficients, we will write here the poly value of that one, and we will get here the answer. And hence we can get here the answer for that particular polynomial having the value of the x is equal to 9 here, and x is given for a range that is the minus 1.5 to the 6.7, having a gap of the 0.1. Then we can draw the graph between the this value, that is the having the range of the x, and what will be the value of the function here itself, and hence we can draw the function of that polynomial with respect to x. And we can also, if we know the here the polynomials, we can calculate here the roots, and if we know the roots, then we can get the coefficients of that particular value, and hence we can describe what is the polynomials here. So using the roots command, we can describe here the roots of that particular, and using here the if we know the roots, then we can describe the polynomials. See, this is the learning behavior of the human beings, and in human beings what happens, we first of all we whatever is the input that is perceived, and we store it, and then so that we can reproduce it at the time of the requirement. And if this is the capability that is converted in the form of the concept, so that we can perform, and according to our concept we perform here, and that is known as the response. If the response is satisfied, then okay, otherwise there is a need of the reinforcement, and after the reinforcement the behavior modification takes place here. So on the basis of this learning, we can here teach, or we can here transfer our learning or intelligence here to the machine. So, and what is required and how we learn? We learn on these basis. That is, by the lecture, the enhancement is 5% reading, 10% audio visual, 20% demonstration, 30%, and group discussion 50%, and by practice by doing 75%, teaching others 90%. So if we are interested, in order to transfer the intelligence into the device, we have to use the 4 concepts, that is the A, B, C, D, that is the algorithm, business, chip, and the data here. So we have to cover these 4 concepts, that is the algorithm itself, business, means what will be the cost of that design algorithm, and what is the chip means what is the area that will be occupied either in the memory, or what will be the area of the silicon wafer that will be utilized in order to implement that algorithm, and the data that has to be processed that are required here. So we have to work on these 4 types of the field in order to transfer our knowledge to the machine, that is the to create the artificial intelligence here. And this is the concept in which we are using the different types of the language, and MATLAB is one of those languages that is very helpful in order to describe the concept of the programming and transferring our knowledge to the machine, and because it is an applicative language and very interactive computational language. So this is about the designing and implementation of the system along with some basic concept of the MATLAB. So thank you very much.